much for listening to the Cooligans in the first segment. We talk about so much. We talk about our trip to Dallas. We talk about the Hall of Fame. We talk about meeting and talking to a lot of the FC Dallas players, owner, coaches, everybody. We talk about a lot of stuff. We talk about, what is this? Oh, yeah, Ibra Jersey. We never talked about that. We talk about Dan Flynn. And, of course, we got to cover NYCFC. Is it just a bunch of Nazis in the stands? Yes or no? We talk about it.
And in the second segment, we go over pre-decision day, a bunch of stuff. We got some trolling. Zlatan getting trolled. Zlatan talking smack. Somebody mark Zlatan. Also, what is it? What is the MLS narrative for decision day, for the playoffs? Is it really just the big players going to get in there? The small markets, are we just going to ignore them? It seems like we are. Because they don't even want to be in the playoffs. All this and more today on the Cooligans!
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Yes, we have a drummer in-house.
Oh, boy.
I'm
busy.
Say thank you to the band, everybody. The Gully Band.
What is it? It's like Bob Smith and the Gulliest 7.
The Gully Orchestra.
Yeah. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Welcome to the Cooligans.
Welcome to the show, everyone.
We're back from Texas.
We're back from Texas. Hey,
Back we're Tejanos now.
That's right. Get used to it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to be playing exclusively norteñas. All right. So get ready. Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerreros.
That's right. And we are your favorite stand-up comedians out in New York City who host the funniest soccer podcast that you've ever listened to.
This is absolutely the funniest soccer podcast, but it's not just that.
Not that alone. All right.
No.
Multifaceted.
It's a lot of things.
Multi-dimensional.
It's a lot of things.
Okay.
One of which those things it is it happens to be the gulliest soccer podcast.
Gang.
Oh, you ever heard?
Okay. All right. You're going to have a criminal record once this podcast is over.
You're going to have to get a teardrop tattoo.
Okay. It gets very dangerous out here. All right. Just talking about footy.
Because every time we're on, it's body bags, baby.
Welcome to the show. Yes.
What is up?
We are back from Texas, and that was a good trip.
Texas was awesome. Learned a lot of cool things. We learned how to make mate.
We learned how to make mate with Maxi.
Mate time with Maxi. Also, you know what I learned? First of all, in the past, I may have besmirched, besmirched. Is it besmirched?
Besmirched, yes.
I might have besmirched the name. Thank you.
Besmirched.
Thank you for being here. Because if not, no one would know what I'm talking about. I may have besmirched the name of breakfast tacos. Okay? I'm like, I don't get it.
Have you?
Yeah. Because here's my thing. What is it?
On this show? I feel like we've talked about a lot of things.
I think I have on this show.
Okay. Trust me, I am not shocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're probably also not even listening when I talk about food.
Sure,
you just shut it off.
I'm sure there's several delicacies that you definitely slandered. And really attacked.
I want to now say to everyone who I've ever told, I don't get it. It's just an omelet in a taco. It makes no sense. I take back everything I've ever said negatively about it. Yo, them joints is killer.
And
I damn near missed my plane for some of those, and I'm not making that up. Also, thank you for driving. Shouts to Elvis and On the Volley apparel. I'm wearing it right now. But if we waited for him, I would have shown up to the airport after the plane already landed in New York. Thank you, Christian, for driving.
No problem. Yes.
Very frustrating. I love you, Elvis. I'm gonna give him Adderall or Coke the next time we have an event to do. I literally stood by the door dressed 2 days in a row for 20 minutes plus as the two of you just sitcom-like meander around, and I'm like, no, I can't live like this.
Yes, but clearly you still wanted tacos so badly.
Yeah, and while we were there,
and that's not an issue. That's not a bother to anyone.
If we would have left on time, it would have been easy to get the tacos and me not have to run through. Thank God I'm TSA pre-check. Thank God I had the wherewithal to get that. But here's what I learned.
Okay.
We're standing there and we're at a Mexican joint, and the lady says to me, "Do you want a popete?" And I was like, I did not order that. I ordered tacos. Thank you very much.
All right, this lady must not understand my order.
And then you said, "Oh, I believe you mean Sorbeto.
Sorbeto, yeah.
And I was like, I also don't know what the hell you mean. If you guys are talking about a straw, the name for that is absorbente. And then all three of you looked at me like, and what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, I can't be the wrong one here. I know the word for straw. It's food related. Okay. I know this. So I looked this up. It really is.
There's a lot of different, yeah.
But how come you don't say calimete?
I have never heard that in my life, calimete. That's wrong. This website is fake news. I don't know.
Cañita in Peru, popete in Mexico, sorbete in Argentina, Ecuador, Peru, sorbeto in Puerto Rico. Apparently, Christian Puerto Rican now.
There's not one person. If you're a Dominican person listening to this show and you say calimete, you have lost your Dominican card. I don't know what that is. Never heard of that.
This website
in my life.
SpeakingLatino.com has just lost. By the way, I know you guys are like, isn't this a soccer podcast? But it's pajita and pajilla, and cañita and carrizo. I don't know. There's so many words for straw.
Please,
how about this? Absorbente. It works perfect.
It's too many syllables. There's too much going on there.
Sorbeto. Absorbente. It's one extra syllable.
Too much going on.
Anyway,
popote
right.
sounds like a nickname you would call your puppy. You know what I mean?
Popote is like the dog pooped on the floor. Hi,
he popote again. Oh.
Popote. No.
¿Por qué popote? Let us know.
In piso.
I mean, this is clearly a very divisive issue.
Divisive. But if you're Dominican, you know what? I say we go with whatever Mariano Diaz says.
Yeah, sure.
DR7.
He decides. he's the final vote of
him, Big Papi, and Romeo from Aventura get together.
Sure.
And they have to decide as a unit.
It goes to arbitration.
Yeah. Okay? That is the Supreme Court in Dominican Republic. People don't know that.
Sure.
Mariano Diaz just got confirmed.
The robes are made out of gator skin.
Yeah.
Right.
Mad shiny.
And it's tight, all right? The robes are tight.
Everybody wears that small.
So let us know, regardless of what Latin culture you come from.
Or if you don't come from one at all. Take a guess.
What do you call a straw?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know.
A drinking straw, not like hay, you know?
Sure, yeah. I'm sure there were people that were confused about that.
There's just one vaquero, I'll tell you exactly what it is.
So we'll get an opinion from a horse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I call it.
Yeah. Oh, look, we got an email from .com.
Yes.
This show has deteriorated to the point where we're doing horse sounds for emails.
Let us know. This is a real important. It's more important than MLS MVP.
Yes.
Anything else? Okay?
Jerseys that are being sold. This is way more important.
So I know you guys enjoy it. So because we know you enjoy it because you always leave us incredibly positive reviews on iTunes.
We get great reviews.
That always mean the world to us. And we're trying to get to 300 reviews. We're at 277. Yeah. All right. The quest for 300. The Cooligans are almost there. But we have some really awesome reviews. This one I wanted to point out because this was from a longtime listener who's listening to the show since very early on. Remember Gavin? We went to
of course
the Gold Cup game with Gavin and his mom.
Yeah,
right. And I believe it was his wife as well. He was Gavin is a listener from Hawaii. He's a great dude. He invited us to a Gold Cup game.
What is that? He's like old school shirts, right? There's something. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it was Costa Rica, Honduras, right? That was
Costa Rica, Honduras.
We got to hang out with him and his family.
It was wild. We basically sat in a Costa Rica section. It was
exactly.
pretty wild.
We had a great time. So
one lady who could not dance in front of us would not sit down. Please sit down. I can't forget this.
Okay, yeah. I mean, at least Alexis remembers the important stuff.
Yeah, I don't know who won the game, but
so this from Gavin, and it's from Gavin and Gully Mom.
Aw,
so mom,
Gully Mom.
Even mom's out here, Gully, right? So
she got 3 chancletas.
so where's the third one, Ma? Where'd you get that third one from? Where's the other pair?
That's the one that hurt the most. A golden chancleta.
So the subject is my ma approves.
Awesome.
So five stars, and he goes banano, Gunny, con café. You don't know what any of this means, do you? No. And you know why? Because you aren't listening to the Cooligans. And then not only are you on the outside of the inside jokes, you are the joke.
Oh.
All right. This is kind of
Flames.
Flames are coming out. Okay. I just imagine him typing this as that
keyboard getting too hot.
the cat meme, the cat meme that's like slamming on the key. He's like, I'm gonna let everybody know. And he goes, I bet you think that quote unquote being gully only refers to being like a Brighton and Hove seagull too. Chump. Want to know how funny, committed to soccer entertainment, and brave the hosts Alexis and Christian are? Let me tell you, these guys came to Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey. After I invited them to come watch Canada and French Guyana with my mom. This was the doubleheader.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
the rain.
That's right, and it rained. Yeah, it was. We talked about it. Go back. There's a video about it. To be clear, it wasn't French Guyana plus my mom. Although she plays about their level, which is great.
It's probably true.
Great burn.
Probably true.
You're nailing it. Anyway, the Cooligans posted up next to us to watch the game. Halfway through the match, Mom says, These guys seem really nice.
That's Matt Gully.
That's Matt Gully, Mom.
That's how she gets that name right there.
He goes, you hear that? The Cooligans are real nice. What you don't believe? What, you don't believe my mom? Get out of here. Listen to the show. Personally, I rated 5 stars plus a bag of stolen apples. Bet you don't get that reference either. Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
Thank you so much, Gavin, man. We miss you, dude. Have a teacher in Hawaii.
Yeah, hope the ponytail's doing great.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yeah, man. Loved it.
So thank you. Make sure you leave a review on iTunes. Again, it helps us helps more people hear about the show.
Yeah,
and I honestly think we get some of the funniest reviews on iTunes overall.
I think it's for being the funniest show, we deserve the funniest reviews,
That's
and our
right.
fans supply that. Thank you so much.
So let's get to the show. Let's get to some soccer that's happening.
Let's get right to it.
Let's talk about our trip to Texas. We hung out.
By the way, shouts to Bug Eaters FC.
We got to
Senor Colura.
Yeah, we got to hang out with El Patron, right?
El Patron, yeah.
Jonathan
El
Colura, El Jefe, owner of Bug Eaters FC, lives out.
Who got some big moves coming up, so shouts to them.
Yeah, that's right.
We can't announce it, but it's awesome. We were really happy
We
for
can't
you.
announce it because he doesn't tell us anything.
No, but we know something's coming.
But we feel it. You know, our joints are getting cold.
We went with him to an incredible steakhouse.
Yes.
The meat tasted like butter. Christian looked like he was going to vomit at the
I
end
was
of the meal.
fine.
You were stuffed.
Elvis was the one that was sick.
Elvis was visibly sick to his stomach.
I was fine. I didn't.
He woke up the next morning while eating the lobster mac and cheese reheated in the microwave. He told us how full he was.
Yes.
Still.
It was a
And
lot.
I had a weird number 2 after it, but it was a good time.
Okay, yeah, all right. Mention that in the reviews, guys.
Yeah. Talk about your weird number 2s.
No, we got to do so much amazing stuff. We got to hang out with FC Dallas. We got to visit the Soccer Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we got to be there for the induction ceremony.
That's right.
Which is bring your own pillow. Oh, my God.
Don't be too harsh. It was
it's
some speeches were more entertaining than others. That's all. We'll leave it at that.
One of them was entertaining. I will say this: the people got to present. You get to, if you're being inducted, you get to choose who presents you. And a lot of people wrote like some really cool books that they read up there. But it was really cool. I mean, you could see how important it was. A moment, almost everyone cried up there. It was really cool.
Okay, you mentioned it like that was a sign of their weakness.
Well, no. I mean, I cried in the audience because I was like, how much longer could this possibly take? But it was really cool. It was absolutely awesome. And the Hall of Fame is gorgeous. And it's a really cool addition to Toyota Stadium,
That's right.
where FC Dallas plays. I think they said it's the first major league Hall of Fame that's in an active stadium, which is kind of dope.
Okay.
And it was just awesome. Shouts to all the front office staff at FC Dallas. These guys made us feel like we were home.
It was,
and we got to meet our dad. We got to meet our new dad, which is cool.
So,
and I will fight anyone who says he's not. I will fight everyone at 23andMe.
Yeah, see, Alexis carries around adoption papers to hand to the winner.
Mostly deli guys who own pizza shops.
You do one kind thing for him, it's like, oh, here, let me just sort. I got it all signed. All you got to do is sign here, initial here, and now you're my dad.
I got those little posted flags where you need to sign. Everything's cool.
No, so we're talking about Oscar Pareja.
Oscar Pareja.
Coach of FC Dallas. We did get to interview him.
Papi, as his nickname is, and what now I call him. Hola, Papi. How was work?
We interviewed so many people from FC Dallas. It's insane. We got to interview Oscar Pareja. It was strange. And just to explain how any of this stuff happens, look, obviously the front office from FC Dallas invited us. They were so welcoming, so kind. And
we never experienced anything like this.
Yes.
There's so many times where Christian and I, even if they're welcoming to us, still have to kind of explain who we are and what we're trying to do.
Yes.
And a lot of it is like, we're not trying to be weird. We're not trying to be like, we're not making fun of anyone. We want to have a good time.
Yes.
We're going to keep our pants on. Like, there's so much that we have to
Very
explain.
important. Yes, that was in the contract that we have to keep our pants on.
Which is really annoying, because that takes away our closer.
No, but FC Dallas, props to them because they get it. They get what we're doing. And
when we walked in, they knew what the Cooligans were about. They're like, here we go. Here's what we're going to do. And they were prepared for us.
Yes, so it was super cool. Even though explaining to some of the people that we interviewed, some people didn't like. So Oscar Pareja, for example, we're going to interview him. He's about to get into the, come into the conference room that we're recording this stuff at, and you can sense the skepticism because he doesn't understand exactly what it is.
He came in like, I've got 5 minutes.
I got 5 minutes for these reporters.
Yeah, exactly. Okay? For these oddly dressed journalists,
very unprofessional journalists that walk into my office.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't even be here. Let's say 4.5 now.
Yes.
After seeing how they're
walked
dressed.
in, and then so once we explain, like, hey, look, we're comedians. This is what we're doing. You can see it.
Even his eyes when you go, we're comedians. He's like, God, these journalists are going to try to be funny. Like, he still didn't get it.
But you can see how foreign the concept is. Once we tell players or front office, be like, hey, we're comedians and we do the soccer podcast, they are already like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is going on? So it's just, they're baffled by the concept. So even teams, soccer players, they don't even understand what we do yet until we introduce them. But I have to give them all the credit in the world. Once we started recording, all of them were great, on point, super funny.
I'll say this. Maybe we won't say who the first one was. The first interview came in kind of skeptical of what we were doing.
Yeah.
We start making him laugh. He starts having a good time. He starts talking about comedy. He's a fan of comedy. We start relaying what we know and who we are and what we've done. And he's like, oh my God, they're funny. It's legit. They know soccer. He must have left and told everyone because the next guy who comes in with a smile like, huh?
Hey,
you comedians? You funny? Let's do this. And I felt like up until we interviewed Dan Hunt, the owner. We interviewed Oscar Pareja. Dan Hunt was like, I heard you guys are comedians. Like, he was all excited. Oscar Pareja, like, I guess not a lot of people want to bother him the day before a game.
Makes sense.
So he came in like, comedians. And then by the end of it...
Oh, you funny guys?
Oh, okay. I'll be the judge of that. But he was... I don't even know how to explain the way he speaks. You might not even be able to hear it on audio, but in his eyes looking at you when he speaks to you, it literally goes into your soul.
I got to mention, I didn't realize this. Oscar Pareja has piercing green eyes.
Disturbingly piercing.
I mean, it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm like, and by the way, you know how like when you look at someone, when you're talking to them, sometimes you look at the bridge of their nose.
Yeah.
Or you'll focus on one eye or you look away. You're like, this is awkward. I'm just staring at this guy's eye. Oscar Pareja does not lose eye contact with you at all times. You can look away and look back. He's still looking directly where your eyes were and where they are now again.
Yeah.
His eyes don't move a little bit.
He's like a painting with the eyes that follow you.
It is freaky how good he is at that. And I will say, like, at the end, he came up to us. He's like, my God, this was great. And he said there was a player in before, and I guess he waited by the door for us.
Yeah.
And he heard that player laughing, and he told us, he was like, I wondered, why is he laughing? We have a game tomorrow. Like, what's he joking around about? Because I guess he assumed we were doing like a really serious journalist style interview. Like, tell us about the game next week. And he just assumed this player had this like feet up on the table. A game. We didn't even, hey, this ain't even going to be tough. You know what I mean? Why are we even talking about this? That's kind of how he thought was happening.
Yeah.
But once he met us, he was like, this is amazing. We should do this before all the games. You guys can come in and entertain us. And he was like, you guys talk to every player, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we talked about 4 or 5. He's like, oh, we should have had you talk to every player. And we're like, yes.
I know.
Yeah, could you say that into the camera, please?
I don't know. I mean, they also did lose 3-0.
That's not our fault.
That's not our fault.
We only talked to 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, we needed
and
to
they
talk
played
to,
pretty well.
Yeah, the players we spoke to were men of the match.
Yeah, doing great.
So
I got to miss the match, but you got to stick around for the match.
I did. It was great. It was just a cool experience. Again, Toyota Stadium was really cool. The FC Dallas supporters were awesome. Hung out at the tailgate with the Dallas Beer Guardians, and
So you guys went to Whataburger, and I can't believe you guys said it was good and lied to them to their faces.
who's they said it was good.
You said it was good, and Elvis said it was good on that video.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was like. What, you mean it tasted bad? It didn't taste bad.
It's a trash
It's
burger.
all fast food is trash. I'm sorry, some people might be offended by that concept.
Shake Shack is fast food, technically. You think that's trash?
I mean, trash. I mean, it's unhealthy for you. So.
Oh, God, no one asked you that. Why are you even here right now? I am so angry that those words came out of your mouth. No one asked you that.
That's what
That is not a part of it.
So there's a guilt attached to all the food, and
No.
and there should be.
You should not be guilty about
goddamn
eating it.
sinners.
This is Texas, baby. You
Your
can eat whatever you
livers and
want.
kidneys hate you. Okay.
That's why they have rascal scooters. Keep doing what you do, Texas. Have you seen the front seats of those pickup trucks? They're basically love seats. You guys can do whatever you want out there in Texas. And by the way, we've watched you do it.
It was a good experience, man. The FC Dallas supporters were super cool.
Let me ask you, because I didn't get a chance to go game day in the Toyota Stadium.
Yeah, you had to leave, but you had to go back to New York.
Yeah, I had to come back to New York, so I left Sunday. But you got to witness it. And one of the big things against FC Dallas is the lack of support and the lack of atmosphere at the games.
Sure.
What did you witness?
I mean, it was a different circumstance, right? It was a Hall of Fame weekend. It was a Hall of Fame game, right? There was no issue with it not being empty. All right, it wasn't. They said it was sold out. You still saw a couple seats open.
Well, I think most MLS teams will like paper at the end. Like if there's like
Maybe.
2,000 seats left, they give them away.
Whatever.
And it's sold out.
Ton of people there. It was a good experience. I mean, I wish I got to experience FC Dallas scoring a goal and feeling that.
Yeah.
But Sporting Kansas City brought it, man. They were good. There were a couple.
2 missed penalties on the night too.
Yeah, from each team,
Yeah,
and
one from each team.
Yeah. So the FC Dallas. I mean, they didn't. Up close, seeing all these guys, they got a good system in place. I mean, it just looked like the Sporting Kansas City. They're on fire this year.
Yeah.
Everybody was.
They came to play.
Yeah, they're very much so. So first half, I couldn't believe FC Dallas did not score, and then the second half, Sporting Kansas City just absolutely dominated. They had possession. FC Dallas couldn't really do much of anything. But I did want to give a huge shout out to Bailey Brown from Dallas Beer Guardians,
For the Beer Guardians, yeah.
who I got to hang out with, and she introduced me to a bunch of the folks there. Everyone was super cool. There were fans. A couple were fans of the Cooligans. I've listened to the show before, and it's just one of those things like, oh, cool. People in Dallas listen. I don't even.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, like it's just.
I will say, I mean, Dallas surprised us with the amount of like fanfare for the soccer team, and yeah, just like the team itself. Also, I mean, everything about it was just.
So
really dope.
let's talk about the Hall of Fame, right? Because that was an interesting experience. Definitely for both of us. I mean, not to name drop too damn hard, but you know,
Cooligans.
Cooligans,
Yeah.
Cooligans, the
That's
Cooligans.
it.
That's
We
it.
just said name drop. That's the biggest name
We got
drop.
to meet of ESPN, Bob Lee.
Bob Lee.
Dude, it was so awesome. We got to interview him for a bit. It'll be up on YouTube soon. His voice. It's just weird hearing his voice
He never turns it off.
right next to you. Yeah.
I wanted to be like, just narrate the day for me.
Yeah.
And there he goes, another sandwich. You know.
Yeah, just a calm, cool, collected. It's just like, is this a documentary about sandwich eating?
Yeah. I thought this guy did a podcast in comedy. Whatchamacallit? He didn't like make the voice bigger or any inflection that's
No,
different.
no.
Like when we were talking to him, like, hey, would you do an interview? He's like, sure, let's do it right here. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, this is great. And we also got to hang out with El Presidente, Fernando Fiore.
Oh,
he
God.
was awesome too.
He did a Dominican accent. He did a Cuban accent.
Look, when you watch this interview, dude, subscribe to our YouTube channel immediately.
And hit that little notification button because you're going to want to see this as soon as it drops.
Because this dude he's Argentinian,
Yeah.
but went full Cuban and full Dominican.
He went ham. He went jamon.
Because it was so damn fun. He was really cool. Really
I
supportive.
mean, just like what you see on TV isn't a put on either.
Yeah.
Fernando Fiore is just a bubbly, life-loving dude, man.
Yeah.
And you talk to him for 2 minutes and you can't help but love the guy.
So the ceremony itself, the people that did get inducted were Dr. Bob Contiguglia, right?
I think it's Contiglia.
There's another G there.
Contulia, because the G's are silent.
All right, then that's what it is. You're not the person I'm going to go to for that to confirm. But
Oh, really? How dare you besmirch my ability to say words?
Cindy Parlow Cone from women's national team. Tiffany Milber, also women's national team.
Great interview.
Great. She was great too. Brad Friedel,
That's right.
head coach of the New England
Who
Revolution.
told me I should work out more.
Yeah,
Really-
dude.
Really mad, disrespectful Brad Friedel.
We talked to him for a
I'm
bit.
glad y'all missed the playoffs.
He put you in your place, dog.
Yeah. You can't make me run doubles, dog. You ain't my coach. Oscar, get over here, Dad. Tell him he's not my coach.
And JP Dellacamera got the media award.
Josie something
Josie,
award.
the Josie Mourinho
The
award.
Jose Mourinho award. 3 of them in this house. 3.
So let's my take, my feeling from being in this room. I didn't know what to expect from going to a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Obviously, in this new building, the first concern was a couple days prior when Taylor Twellman in halftime of the game that was on ESPN mentioned that the amount of people who voted, it was only about 50% of the people eligible to vote for in the National Soccer Hall of Fame did not vote. So half the people who had an opportunity to have a say did not even participate.
I don't even
You know,
wanna-
all right, very much like American politics, right?
Yeah.
Yo,
But it completely unlike American Idol.
I gotta fill out like a survey online.
What am I supposed to do? Checks? Is there a hanging Chad involved? I ain't trying to do this.
Wow, I got better things to do. All right, I'm so.
Come on, I'm on Netflix.
You
dog.
look, all right, just Ozark ain't gonna watch itself.
Yeah, I know. I'll do it when I'm done with the next 13 episodes of this hour-long per episode show.
Okay, I'm too busy British baking off.
Yeah.
So this
They're
is.
making a spiral cake, man. This shit's hard.
There were a lot of people there, and I felt like I got to learn a lot. Obviously, the
What did you learn?
so
Tell me
a
what
couple.
you learned.
Well, outside of the exhibits themselves, you know,
I learned we were way overdressed for media people.
now we gotta flex out there, right?
did, though.
We gotta let people know.
We did hard body. We brought garment bags, dog.
But the outside of the exhibits, which were pretty cool, there's a lot of old timey American soccer stuff. You know, a Pele jersey from
Yeah,
Cosmos.
we saw Pablo Maurer had his Johan Cruyff Dips jersey.
That's
Dips
right.
is such a dope jersey.
That's right.
George Karashi's dad, Farouk Karashi,
Had
his
his-
jersey was there. The
with,
Rowdies jersey.
with his name misspelled, which is really funny.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Spelled.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, no, you don't know how to spell his name. Nobody knows how to spell.
That's why I didn't
Qureshi.
notice. I stared at it for
It was misspelled.
while.
So outside of the exhibits, which is definitely a really cool thing, and if you have an opportunity to go to Frisco and see it, please do that. It's really awesome. I learned a lot. Now the ceremony itself, the thing that took me by a little bit of surprise was that the Soccer Hall of Fame, and it seems like the people who were involved in the creation of U.S. soccer and to get it to where it currently is or whatever, and I'm not knocking anyone in particular, but the whole affair was a very white affair.
Oh, it was such a white affair.
Such a white. So it was.
It looked like-
I'm not going to pretend to know exactly where U.S. soccer was in the 70s and 80s and 90s.
No, but it looked like the opening of a ski chalet in Denmark.
Yes, that's what kind
It
of
was
what
like,
it looked like.
looking around
It was very old.
Yeah.
It was very male, and it was very white. And that is
Bob Lee was one of the darkest dudes there.
like, oh man, this guy.
Yeah,
you
look at this-
you got 10? Were you going on vacation?
Who's this Puerto Rican guy that works for ESPN?
So the only thing that, and it was, it took me by surprise only because in the room of about, I don't know, what, like 250 people, let's say.
Right.
How many people were not white? I mean,
We're like people of color.
people of color. I mean,
I would say probably less than 10%. Honestly, it was me, you, Carlos Cordero, Sunil Galati, Fernando Fiore.
okay. There were some people who did not know that were people of color.
Farouk Karashi.
Okay.
I think that's it.
No, there were more. There were more because I didn't meet everyone. I didn't go to every person of color and be like, "You're safe. We're here.
We see you, bruh. We know you here, my guy."
So the only thing,
not counting waiters. I mean, I think I got to 7.
I mean, look, we're keeping it real. We're keeping it real.
Yeah,
I mean,
put some suits on them. Tell them to sit in the chairs. This is embarrassing looking.
It's all it shows me. It's just sort of anything. Like in any kind of big industry, that's usually the case or whatever. It's not. I'm not offended or surprised. It's just you sort of think of one, and I'm sort of referencing back to the Taylor Twellman thing about like only half the people who could vote voted. Then there must be a scenario where there must have been people who were invited that had no interest in going, right? And maybe it's because there's a bit of a disconnect from the people of color that may work on an executive level, or maybe even players, or maybe people that have issues with U.S. soccer specifically.
Yeah, there could have been some gripes.
Exactly. So but you sense it, right? There's no way to be.
It was palpable, right? Palatable? Palatable.
That's a food thing, which I think you should know. Right?
Well, that's why I thought it was wrong. But it was obvious. You could walk around and it was like, oh, shit. There's just not that many.
Yeah.
There's not that many different people.
And it is
here.
what it is. And I'm not knocking, because I felt like I did get to learn. There were so many people that were instrumental in getting American soccer to where it currently is. And I did genuinely learn a lot. But there is, it's a little jarring, right? You wonder, like, okay, what was, when U.S. soccer was being revamped, right? Especially in the late 80s. When that was going on, was there any real interest in including anyone that was not white? Did people who were not white have any interest in participating? I don't think diversity was a thing people cared about back then. Yeah.
So, but I will say that people that weren't white had to have been a part of U.S. soccer at some point. So why, make sure you invite them. Daniel Slayton was there.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of there were some. It's not saying that this is it's just blatant racism. Nobody's saying any of that. I'm just saying that it's noticeable, right?
Yeah.
So as a person who's relatively new to understanding the foundation of soccer, I go in that room and I'm like, okay, I noticed this, right? It's mostly old white men, even in the women's game. Mostly old white men that were a part of it, and it's not to take away from any of their accomplishments, because without that effort, soccer isn't where it is today, right? So it is just a thing of do people is there an outreach problem? Is there a
I honestly think it's putting a magnifying glass on a long time ago. That's what I think most of it is. I think if you look at all the people that were, involved in U.S. soccer more recently, it's more diverse. And I think it's going to continue to get diverse, Even the general manager, Ernie Stewart, it's a black dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's becoming more diverse. And I'm not saying that those white people shouldn't be involved. I'm just saying when you walk in a room and you're like, is this a meeting? You know what I mean? Like,
am I loud in here?
I'm sorry if I interrupted your meeting. Like, you walk in and you see that, you're just like, oh, ugh.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. I remember when you said it, as soon as you open your mouth, it's like, oh, I know. Like, you didn't even get the words out. Like, no, we know.
Yeah. And again, it does not take away from how significant the Hall of Fame is and how cool it was.
It was such a dope
and it was
event.
honestly an honor to even be there, man. It was cool.
An amazing
It was
job
cool
with
to learn about all that stuff. And yeah, I'm giving you my perspective just as an individual, just being there. But there were a lot of incredibly touching stories and things I got to learn, especially about the women's game, and how Parla Cone and Cindy Cone and Tiffany Bartlett really telling the stories of really how hard it was to it's nearly impossible. It's still incredibly hard and difficult and challenging for NWSL players and some women's national team players nowadays to have a professional career as a woman playing soccer. But hearing the stories of how it was back then, it's just even like, wow. Like,
you know what really got me? Brad Friedel was talking about how he got discovered.
Yeah.
And it was because a guy missed his airplane. Or his flight got canceled. So he had to stay in some city one day longer and was bored and decided to go to a tournament. And Brad Friedel happened to be playing there. Next thing you know, this guy's got 380 games back-to-back consecutive in the Premier League. there's clearly talent in this country, and I just sat there super bored, but yet super frustrated at the thought of if it wasn't. I mean, there's just. I don't think it's that much different than it was back then, to be completely honest. I know we have an academy system now, but what do we have? One full-time scout for the U.S. men's national team.
What is it? Thomas Rongen, right? Is he still the guy?
I think it is Rongen, yeah.
I put all my faith in him and him alone. You're doing a great job, Tommy.
There's a lot of dope bow ties, Tommy. We're the kids.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. I had a good time there.
I had a great time. It was absolutely awesome.
So
and again, shouts to the breakfast tacos.
shout out to breakfast tacos. You know, you know who you are.
Bang bang. 5-star review for you, breakfast taco.
So speaking of U.S. soccer, let's get to the other big news in U.S. soccer. Dan Flynn,
who was there,
and
the next day.
I don't know
Quits.
what we did to him. I don't know. What
Dude, so one of us speak to him? Actually, 2 days later, he quits. He quits on Monday. He resigns.
Yes.
Dan Flynn, who is he's the secretary, right?
He's secretary. He takes phone calls. That's mainly his job.
Hello? Dan Flynn here.
He's his
Hold for Cordero.
He's Cordero's secretary. No, he's I think he's like the CEO. He's the CEO of
CEO
of U.S. Soccer. And
here's my prediction. Sunil Gulati going to take that job.
Who knows? Before we even get to that, some people don't even know who Dan Flynn is or what he does.
Crooked ass Sunil Gulati.
He was in the room. Tone it down, Alexis.
He's not in this room right now.
Why is he crooked? Why is Sunil Gulati crooked?
Oh, I'm the first one to suggest
I'm asking you why you think he's crooked. That's all I'm saying.
Because of everything.
Because of everything. But yeah, because you can't say one thing he's crooked for.
I mean,
yes,
hold on.
Okay.
Who are his friends, yo? Chuck Blazer was one of his homies.
Okay.
Done.
I don't know this. What,
so you lay with
they go
those?
vacation together?
Yeah, technically, yeah. They went to was it Sweden? Switzerland. They went to Switzerland.
So
and he didn't want to quit.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's not about quitting. It's you get elected or you get reelected.
He didn't want to back out. He didn't want to. And by the way, you can quit that job.
Yeah, of course, you can quit the job. I'm saying
he didn't quit. He waited until the re-election and be like, "Oh, I'm not running for re-election," and yet he still wanted to be part of it. And he was throwing shots at every time he's ever.
So that's why he's crooked. He's clearly a criminal.
I'm not saying
because he wanted to keep his job. Look, I'm not a Gulati stan. I'm just asking you what. Let me know why he's a problem.
Gulati stan sounds like a country we've never.
Gulati stan. Yeah, I've been there.
Great boxers out of that country. I will say this: if I'm right. Something has to happen. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be some bet here. I think Sunil Gulati going to try to take that job.
Well, he can't just take it, right? It's a board that helps decide who gets the job. But Dan Flynn, the CEO, some people people kind of generally suggest that this job is more important than the president. Job and that there's more power and more influence and arguably is the most powerful U.S. soccer job in the country.
And from what we hear, he's also the guy. This position is the one that kind of dictates, like, I guess a lot of the times where the men's national team will play, some of the ticketing prices, which has been a big issue.
Yeah. So this is a very big deal. I know some people listening to this probably watch the election for the U.S. soccer president, but this is arguably more significant than that. And this is, if people want to have some say and influence, I mean, this is the time to kind of really talk about what you not just want. Not just like what you want for US, like what you want US soccer to be going forward. Like this is that pivotal moment of when your voice needs to be heard. I don't know if people will
fire up the campaign bus, Eric Winalda. Fire up the campaign bus, Hope Solo.
Yes, I mean that would be fun for this show.
Please,
we would have a good time with it. So that it is going to be a big move. So we're going to stay on top of it. I know there were Kyle Martino was tweeting about it and really talking about that. This is quite significant as well. So yeah, keep an eye on it, everybody, if you care about this sport.
And we're just breaking in real quick just to talk about our sponsor, MyBookie.net.
That's right, MyBookie.net. So if you're a sports fan, if you're a football fan, any sport, MyBookie.net will take care of you. MyBookie.net is the industry-leading sports action website that offers real Vegas odds on football, baseball, and all your favorite sporting events.
You can take aside the total, or you can even bet the over-under on how many fantasy points a player will score. MyBookie.net lets you play online and and win big. Use promo code Cooligans when you register for your account and get 100% sign-up bonus.
It doesn't even matter if the game kicked off. It doesn't matter if it started right in the middle of it. Don't sweat it. MyBookie.net has in-game live action on every major league event, even esports. You nerds.
You don't say. Esports. We already read that part. There's no better time to join MyBookie.net than today. Go to MyBookie.net to open an account and start winning.
So use the promo code Cooligans when you register for your account and get 100% sign-up bonus.
Get in on the action. Visit MyBookie.net's website today and use promo code Cooligans so you can get a 100% sign-up bonus.
Do
double up
it
your money.
now. So, all right. So, no deposit necessary. Terms and conditions apply for entertainment purposes only. Void where prohibited. Now, back to the show. So, next up, Tata Martino.
Goodbye.
Let's get to it, Atlanta fans. All right, wipe those tears off of your iPhones. You know, it's happening, right? Look, we're out here in New York, NYCFC fans, right? Look, we know
what it's like to lose a coach.
we know what it's like already, right? And a team with a
Although none of ours are going to become the Mexican national team coach.
we know, teams with not a long history, right? With coaches that have come and gone pretty quickly. Tata Martino announcing that he is not re-signing with Atlanta United and will be supposedly, I don't know, maybe by the time you hear this, it might be official, but he is supposedly going to be the Mexican national team head coach. So it's looking. How do you feel, Alexa? What do you think about this move?
You know, I think because there's been so many leaks, and Sam Stejskal reported that that's one of the reasons why they announced it now is because there's been so many consistent leaks coming out, and they just didn't want to hold back and not answer it. But we reported, I guess tweeted it out a couple weeks ago when the first news broke that this was a potential, and everyone's like, well, he said he didn't talk to them, right? And what did I tweet out? So did Vieira. And look what happened. You know, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of smoke in the story. And now it's not confirmed that he's going to Mexico, but it looks like that's probably where he's going to go. I can't imagine he leaves his job for another club team. He seemed to have loved what he was doing. The question becomes, well, first to answer your question, what do I think of it? I mean, it was expected. He's never stayed anywhere more than 2 years. So to expect that would change. I know he loved Atlanta, but a bigger opportunity had to have come along.
So the rumors were that Mexico's offering $4 million a year to coach a national team, which is it's too much money to ever say no to. I don't know if that's the real.
We'll do it.
Yeah. We'll be gladly.
We'll do it for half. Save yourself some money. You get two guys for half the money.
Become a Mexican citizen tomorrow. All right?
Are you kidding me? I will be out here saying popote. And never will I say absolutamente again.
So, yes. So if that's the case, if he goes to Mexico, really, it's great for Mexico, great for the national team, a lot to look forward to. But if he goes to Mexico, if a domestic coach in the United States leaves of that quality,
while we're looking for a coach for the men's national team,
the position is vacant, and there's a perfectly viable candidate whose English may not be the greatest. And if they let him go to Mexico,
he starts washing us,
yes. Okay.
Picture that in your brains, folks. If he just starts...
This is the weirdest context to use that in. I mean, I understand what you're trying to say. Not physically washing.
No.
Not cleaning.
Maybe he tries to do that too. Don't take away these opportunities.
The term he's washed is not really used as a verb. Like verb washing.
Well, now I have to go to a verb.
Well, is he washing? Is he? Doesn't make
What's he doing to those boys? Oh, he's washing. So what I'm saying is, if he starts destroying us on the field,
yes,
Ernie Stewart got to get fired.
If he's okay, yeah.
You got to say this is a fail on the U.S. men's national team board, the U.S. soccer board. If
not the potential coach that he hires, that you would fire Ernie Stewart first.
Ernie Stewart got to go.
Okay.
He had this dude in the domestic league available for interview, and he decided not to because he doesn't speak perfect English, and he goes on to coach Ed 3. Ed 3 starts to destroy men's national team for the next, whatever it is, year or two. Ernie Stewart got to go. It's his fault. He's not the coach of the men's national team. That's it.
Okay.
Done. And I need to hear it from Tata's own mouth while he's watching us. Maybe puts on some jazz. I don't know. I need to hear from his mouth that he didn't want the job or he wouldn't have taken the job now that he just wasn't interviewed. That's it.
Okay.
Ernie Stewart gotta go. And I got a lot of respect for Ernie Stewart. Greg Berhalter looks like he's the guy, although people are saying maybe he shouldn't get the job if they miss the playoffs, right? That's like a big thing. If Columbus doesn't make it into the playoffs. All I'm saying is, whoever you hire, okay, if Tata Martino, who was right in front of you, and you had every chance, we got $4 million. We could pay him $4 million a year, can't we?
I don't think we can afford that.
I'll be honest. How much Jurgen Klinsmann was making? 3, wasn't he?
I don't know how much he was making, but
Look
it's
that
like four seems like a lot.
I don't give a damn.
For a national team head coach that plays like 12 games a year
And
$4 million.
but they have a whole system they have to install.
No, I understand. I'm just saying
They have a whole program.
It seems like a lot.
And he has a system. And it happens to be the same system as Sampaoli, right? Because it's Bielsa's. But what I'm saying is he has a system and he cares about youth development. And he got Argentina to the World Cup final. Okay?
All right. You would pay $4 million. That's fine. I'm just saying it seems like a lot.
I need to hear from him and from everyone else. We interviewed him. He didn't accept the job because there wasn't enough money. That's acceptable. Anything else? Dude, you gotta walk. You gotta walk from the job. Now you have to wash us. That's your punishment. That's your punishment.
Sure, that's the
Get over
that's
here
the penalty.
and clean my back.
All right, and get that lower part. I can't reach.
I refuse to reach.
Well, I wanted to give a shout
You
out.
disagree?
That what?
If Tata Martino and the Mexican national team just start ridiculously destroying the men's national team, just start beating us left and right, they win the Gold Cup, they do all that, you think Ernie Stewart should still have a job?
No, I don't think so. I think this
Boom. You heard it from Christian first.
This should be a time when look, Ernie Stewart's job is a new job that did not exist before, right? So having that,
his main responsibility is to interview and choose a men's national team coach. And if standing in front of you,
yes, you're right. And you know who agrees with you? Not about his firing, but Peter Vermees. I saw this at no other pod. Shout out to Kuz, Dan Kuzer, host of the Sporting Kansas City Kansas City podcast. But he did point out an art. I think it was an Athletic article, and these are Peter Vermees' comments. He said, "We have to do something different." I'll read the article. Vermees says of the U.S. men's program, "Quote: We have more resources today, more at our disposal, and we are not using any of it. Instead of going back and saying, what are we doing? What you have to say is, where do we want to be? Who do we want to be? It's your only objective. If your only objective is to qualify for the World Cup, then just hire a head coach. Just fucking hire anybody. You go hire a soccer coach. He can qualify the team for a World Cup. He can, but that's not making any advancements." So I wholeheartedly agree with Vermees here. Which
that also tells me Vermees is no longer in the running. he is out here spraying.
Yeah, he's done with it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, not me? All right, y'all about to find out how I really feel. Exit interview time.
So, yes. So, look, so it's looking like, so this basically, I agree with this. I mean, this is, holds U.S. soccer to a higher standard, especially for the men's side, to say, hey, no, it's not about just qualifying. We need to install people and put people in place to succeed and push ourselves further than ever before. And the standard clearly for 2018 was just get to the World Cup. Right? That was, they fired Jurgen. It was like, oh, he might not get us to World Cup. Like, that's it. It's just the concern was get to World Cup. And we have to say to ourselves, we have to be past that.
Because 2026 is coming.
Yes.
We have to be ready for it. We're going to automatically get in that World Cup anyway, right? Because we're one of the hosts.
Yeah.
You can't ruin the opportunity for us to shine.
Yeah.
Our main core of players are going to be in their prime of their career.
If Russia got farther in this World Cup, in the 2018 World Cup, than the U.S. gets in 2026, that would be embarrassing.
Completely embarrassing.
What did they get? Russia got to the quarters?
Yeah, the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
No, actually, they got a semifinal.
Did they get to the semifinal? I don't even know.
Russia World Cup 2018.
I was too caught up with, Maradona flipping people off. I didn't even know what the hell was going on. But
no, they got to the quarterfinals.
They had the quarterfinals. Yeah, so the U.S. in 2026 should be the bar, right? To at least get to the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And I'll say this: whoever was running the doping program for Russia,
we need
get down
higher.
here.
We need
Get Ernie. Forget the coach. We figured it out.
Okay, so
Tata's gonna be like, I keep asking these guys to run, and they don't stop. What's happening here?
But yeah, so we'll see what happens here, man.
Well, look, if Tata Martino is moving over to the Mexican national team coach, that means there's one coach that is still available, and he could either take the Atlanta job and continue the streak that Tata's had.
There's a certain coach available. Why hasn't been hired yet if he's so good, huh?
Because he's waiting for the time. He's waiting to talk to Ernie. And also, I heard he got Duolingo, so he's trying. Sampaoli as the men's national team coach. I know nobody wants him, but I do. And it would be epic.
Yeah, you're really climbing uphill with this, man.
But you really have no idea.
Pushing a rock up a boulder, a rock up a hill. Anyway, up a boulder.
Oh, and also, by the way, you made a grammatical mistake, a grammatical error in a tweet. I felt vindicated.
One.
Yeah.
One.
Oh, buddy, that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
It happens from time to time. So
your perfect record has been besmirched.
So, all right. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird because, nobody wants this. Nobody wants this.
I do. Bring on Sampaoli. Bring on Sampaoli.
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
What's going to happen when he's running amok in Atlanta?
You know what's weird? So, speaking of the Dan Flynn stuff and all these pieces that are moving around in U.S. soccer, some people think that the next up in line for Dan Flynn job might be actually Jay Berhalter. And then if that's the case, then it seems even crazier that Greg Berhalter would be the head coach of the U.S.
I don't really see that much of a conflict of interest there, to be completely honest.
No, you don't.
I don't, because he's taken himself out of the running to help choose the next coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? What are you going to do? Tell the guy you got to quit your job so that your brother could get the head coaching job? It's ridiculous.
Okay. It just all seems a little insider. You know what I mean? I was talking about going to the Hall of Fame and feeling like, it doesn't seem like everybody it didn't seem super incluve.
No, it did seem like a lot of stuff gets handled by handshake too. I was like, ugh.
So it just doesn't, throw that kind of, that idea away or anything like that.
If Columbus misses the playoffs, you think he should still get a shot at the?
He's a good coach. I mean, I understand if he got the job, it will be earned. I wouldn't take anything away from him.
Hasn't he missed the playoffs the last 2 out of the 3 years?
Incorrect. No, they were in the playoffs last year. They beat Atlanta. Remember Atlanta?
Year before?
Yeah, last year. And I think they were there the year before that, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so. I think they missed after the.
No, they were MLS Cup in 2015. Then they didn't miss the next year. I don't think they did. I could be wrong, but whatever. So, let's talk about an issue that is maybe a little closer to us, and it's a little. It's been a bit strange, and it's been all pretty weird. Some people have probably seen it on Twitter. Some people have.
People have asked us to comment on it, and
yes.
with all due respect,
yes,
we should.
So. So recently there was a tweet from Sean King. If you don't know Sean King, he's a journalist, and I'm sure you've seen his tweets. Pretty much, he is a person that's very focused on civil rights. He kind of retweets or shares things of any kind of.
He's got over 1 million followers, so
yes.
he highlights things that need highlighting.
Exactly, especially any civil rights issue, any race issue, anything that seems just absolutely egregious, he'll point out and he'll share it. So he did this regarding an issue with NYCFC, and I don't even know. I'll just sort of explain everything, right? NYCFC is a soccer team in New York. They have a bunch of fans. There's a lot of people there, and some of the people that attend the games happen to be people that were either alt-right leaning, straight up Nazis, the whole thing. It's been an issue in world soccer, and teams do everything they can to address it, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a group, I don't remember their name, doesn't even matter, that were pointed out, I believe, in year 1 in 2015, and they were banned from attending games.
Right. There was an article in Empire of Soccer, I think, was the first time it was referenced.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like news to us. We're like, whoa.
Yeah. All pretty shocking, right?
There's people at the games that are potentially Nazis. Like that was, you got to be out of your mind, right?
So we go to games. This is not a thing we've. I can only speak for myself. I've never seen any kind of display of any racism, any negativity. I know there's been violence in general throughout the years. I've never personally seen it.
Sometimes expected though. I mean, you got drunk people anyway. That's not a sign that someone's racist. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But there were this story of a group of people who were like hailing Hitler. And then there was like this talk of a flag being like, coded Nazi stuff, which was kind of, I'd never seen anything like that. So I have no idea. But there were a group of 5 or 6 fans that were banned for having, I don't know exactly why they were banned, but I know some of the other fans were talking about how they had ties.
Which is what should happen. Yeah. Of course. Nobody wants that around them. It's incredibly negative, and it's not the kind of environment anybody needs to see. That stuff doesn't need to be displayed at an MLS game.
As fans, we don't represent NYCFC fans in general. They're their own people. I will say that as fans, what we expect from the team is to make sure that everyone is welcome as long as everyone is welcoming everyone else.
Correct.
So yeah, everyone's welcoming, but not if you're here to spout hate speech.
Exactly.
Not if you're here to discriminate against other people. Even if you're not doing it at the game, if that's just the kind of person you are on social media online, it feels weird to say like you shouldn't be allowed or included, but I kind of agree that there's no reason why you should make other people feel unsafe.
Okay, so the reason this is related to soccer in particular is because I don't know if you watched the news. Recently, there was a group called the Proud Boys that were out in the street beating people up
in New York City.
In New York City, racial slurs, homophobic slurs, the whole thing, right? So just again, disgusting. As a resident of New York, I'm like, that's like
it's the last thing you would expect to happen in this city.
Horrid, right?
Yeah.
Don't want that. But those people were identified. They were arrested, and
but the NYPD has like an investigation out. There's video.
So there is a real handling of that situation from a legal perspective, right?
Right.
The issue here, and the reason it relates to soccer, is because some of those people that were beating people up were NYCFC fans, and they were at games, and
there's photo evidence. We're not slandering anyone.
They were there. I've personally seen like 1 or 2 dudes that I saw that were identified. So I know that it's a real thing. It's not my issue is like it's of course none of these people should be welcome, right? But the like I don't know. This is a strange thing because it's trying to understand and figure out. It's such a strong like societal and legal issue. It's like crowbarring soccer into it is what feels strange, right?
But
it's
I mean, historically, that's very common. And I think a lot of the issue with this when it comes to soccer is that romanticizing those early 90s English, firms and casuals and hooligans, which sometimes didn't have the most progressive ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of those guys still exist. You know what I mean? And, the Nationalist Party is still a big thing in England. It's not huge, but it's a big thing. It's there. And I know some people say like the UKIPs are a part of that. Like there's a lot of that going on.
It should be addressed. If there's behavior that is negative, violent, racist, homophobic at games, of course, the team is responsible, the league is responsible to stop all of that. The other supporters.
It is on the onus of the club itself and the league.
And I would also go even a little farther and say like us as fans should be a part of eliminating that as well. Right now, I'm not saying being violent or whatever, but we should do what we can to eliminate that kind of behavior.
Or at least make it be known that it's not welcome. It's not a welcome ideal.
Yes.
It's not something that should be.
And I applaud a bunch of NYCFC fans for doing that.
Yeah.
Now, my personal experience as a season ticket holder of NYCFC, I go to games, I meet the kindest, warmest people.
Yeah.
Everyone they're supportive of.
Welcoming.
Yes. Never.
Progressive even.
Not once in my experience of attending NYCFC games these last 4 years have I ever witnessed any kind of Nazi anything or not even a little bit. Maybe, again, that's my personal experience. Maybe there was a game I didn't go to that something happened. Never seen it once.
Right.
That's the only thing I can speak to. So my issue is that, look, I love Sean King. I appreciate what he does.
Right.
This is one of those things where
it just feels a little overinflated, his statement.
Correct.
And, he has had some misses, but I don't think, like, some things that have come out were like, well, that whoever your source was there missed this ideal or whatever, or missed this thing. This is one of those situations where, like, I got a text from a friend of mine who knows nothing about soccer. Yo, what's this? I hear that NYCFC is the favorite team for Nazis. And I'm like, this is what I think. I had to sit there and explain, look, it's like 5 or 6 guys. Literally the conversation we just had here on this podcast. It's like 5 or 6 guys. That doesn't represent the fan base as a whole. One of those dudes, like, I've seen in photos of, like, road trips to away games with some of the other fans that are extremely progressive.
Yeah.
So I look, maybe he has those ideals. They seemed okay with his president. I probably wouldn't be as comfortable, but that's up to them. You know what I mean? I think it's one of those things where I say, I don't think it should be welcome. I don't think it should be. I'm not saying allowed or disallowed. That's for the club. But as fans, we should make it clear. And I want to piggyback on what you said. I've never felt in danger at NYCFC games. I've never felt like the person I was speaking to was anything way more, hard-lined or racist than anyone else that was there. Everyone was like a happy, there to watch the game. Some shit gets said that's probably not the most modern, you know what I mean? Making fun of, maybe the P word, with the kickoff. Yeah. There's some things where I'm like, yeah, all right, that's not comfortable, but never like, oh, these guys just came from a meeting about wanting to keep a statue.
And a lot of it is like, yo, we don't know these dudes. Like, we don't know what their lives are like. And this is...
And some of the ones they're talking about, these are Latino dudes.
Look, none of it makes sense.
Which,
all right?
blows our mind. And I know that there's like an issue with...
Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, there's like white supremacy issues in Latin America, which is just... You know what I mean? But again, it's a different experience than being here. Here, we're minorities and we're different. If you're in your country... Simple differences between the two of you make you different. Like, I'm sure people and outside of the U.S. are looking at us going like, why are they killing black people? Like, why are cops killing black people? They're just Americans. You're all Americans. Here, it's hard to see it that way because every little difference sort of separates you. From the outside in, I'm looking at all of you like going, you're all Latino. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. But I get it. Some people are proud of their European heritage. A little too proud.
Yeah, that's my main concern of it being like overblown. I mean, it's like, it's sort of the strange thing. And maybe as a person of color, this is sort of how I see like race sort of like in society and stuff like that, right? So I understand the concept that Nazis might exist, right? Or if there's a Nazi, say you have a Nazi, whatever, like alt-right person or whatever, in any at a cafe, but they don't do anything Nazi-like. They're just having a coffee. Should we say, no, get out of here. You're not allowed to have coffee here, right? There's sort of like we can do that for every like I'm sure there's racist people that go to everywhere, go to basketball games, like how far back or how much into somebody's mind are we supposed to go to deny them the opportunity to remove them from any kind of any location based on what their beliefs are. I personally did not know, and this is in hindsight, right? I personally did not know what any of these dudes were, what they did, or whatever. Right. But then when I see them beating people up in the street, when I see them in Charlottesville, right? When I see that, I'm like, all right, now at this point,
you don't get to now just be cool with us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I get the fact that, like, well, he hasn't hurt any of us here. Bill Cosby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you wouldn't want him in a room with your mother. Oh, well, he never hurt my mother before. Oh, well, look at this details we have of him in other situations.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, yo, if that's the kind of person you are, I mean, we're talking about someone who, wears clothes like, whatever the Fred Perry shirts or whatever they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Or, maybe dresses like casuals or whatever.
How angry is Fred Perry after that happened?
Probably not. He's getting sales. But like if maybe you dress like a casual or something like that, I'm like, it is what it is. You dress like how you want. I'm not going to, I mean, you could dress like a gangster. It doesn't mean you're a gangster. But if we have video of you and there's photos of you doing those things, it needs to be made clear. You can't go do that during the week and then come back as just like a general dude on the weekend and be a part of what we're doing. And I think this is an issue. This is an issue with, I think they were saying in the Sean King thread, if you go down, people were saying like, there's an all-right DC United fan that like is very loud about it on Twitter and tweets and stuff about it. And some of the fans have been trying to make him not feel welcome. And they've been suggesting that the club does a lot of pro-gay stuff and have like LGBTQ days and stuff. So at the very least, send the message. It's like, yo, not only are you not welcome here, but we're going to make you have to sit through these things that you don't like and to show our love and appreciation for everyone, regardless of their race, religion, or creed or sexual background or whatever, to come to these games and feel welcome and make sure your ideals aren't welcome here. And I think everyone should be doing that.
Sure. I think to me, there's a difference between interacting with people who are just straight up criminals, right? And these are like hate crimes.
Yeah.
So you understand, like, forget soccer, man. It's just like it's like as a person in society, I'm like, I don't want to be around people like this because I feel like I would be in danger, or my friends and family might be in danger as well. But as a person of color that understands that deals with, I understand that racism exists and this is a real thing. Like I can't do that with everybody, right? I can't be like, because you have some racist ideal that you're not allowed wherever, because I wouldn't get far with that kind of rhetoric. So I think there should be a distinction, right? I'm not sympathizing with anyone because I personally wouldn't want to be around someone who's just a straight up Nazi.
No,
right?
yeah, of course not.
But if
someone I commiserate with.
If a Nazi never committed a crime, if they just held these beliefs and like, what is the responsibility of the person sitting next to them in a soccer game to eliminate them from a game? I mean, and I'm differing that from someone who's clearly has evidence of committing a crime, committing hate crimes, compared to just someone who has some ideals and doesn't bother anybody.
I think one of the reasons why I'm going to be a little bit different in what you're saying right now is in the sense that we had to fight him in a war, and 6 million of us of one religion had to die for us to realize maybe this isn't the ideals we should be, backing up. And if your ideal is that I or anyone else is less of a human being because of some religion that they were raised with or because of how they were born, then that's not something I think we should. It's a little bit different than saying like, well, I'm a very conservative person. I don't think gays should get married. All right, maybe you could sit next to me and I want to agree with you.
I'm not disagreeing.
The term Nazi to me is
of course.
That is the one disclaimer.
I'm exaggerating.
All right, I get your point.
Yeah.
I totally get your point.
The point.
That's the one thing I just want to make sure we're clear.
As
Cooligans,
as human beings, what is our responsibility to remove
that's like saying,
these people?
No Republicans allowed to sit next to me at the game. That's stupid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're not going to agree with a lot of people. I'm saying Nazi is like the most extreme thing.
Yeah.
But
and I just hate the normalization.
It is a real thing because my concern, and the reason I'm getting very serious about it, is because people are being very getting very divisive, and people are accusing like NYCFC fans. You are associating with this person, and you are like you're the same as a Nazi or whatever. Like, I don't know why some people would associate with someone or not. Like, everybody has their personal choice, but by making these accusations,
that like it's the whole fan base.
This whole thing, it puts honestly, I think it puts people in some danger.
I agree.
So
I totally agree.
That's my concern about like there might be people taking photos of like, look at this person at a game, but then it's like there's 4 or 5 other people that have no idea who this dude is.
Yeah. I never know who the people around me are.
Exactly.
Yeah, and maybe it's people from the Midwest going, what do you mean you don't know the people around you? You're not turning around talking to people? No, we're New Yorkers. We don't talk to anybody. We watch the game, we go home.
I think
we have our friends.
I think
and I can tell you this much, the people we fucks with, not Nazis.
Yeah, I'm pretty clear. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not. Yeah.
No, we're talking about dark-skinned Dominican dudes. 3 or 4 El Salvadorans.
Look, the important thing is I think there's a united front from fans of NYCFC, from fans of just soccer in general. Like, dude, nobody wants this around them. Nobody
Especially
wants
not MLS is the last place you'd expect to hear this. If you said this was the Serbian league, you'd be like, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You know what? There's probably 4 or 5 guys that aren't.
Dude, man, yeah,
and they probably got banned for not being Nazis.
What, Croatia, they're burning swastikas into the field.
They had to play their qualifying matches behind closed doors, no fans, and everyone loved them during the World Cup.
So let's not
Just MLS is the last. But you know what? This is also part of the growing pains of MLS. We're now at a point where you're bringing in a ton of fans. You know, Atlanta just broke a record, 900,000 plus people this year.
Yeah.
This year, 900,000 people went to go see them play. In that number, there's going to be 1 or 2 baddies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 1 or 2,000 Nazis are clear.
Yeah. What I'm saying is NYCFC, this is not an NYCFC specific issue. This happens to be something where the people you've seen at some of those other events, like you mentioned, Charlottesville and things like that, also have gone to NYCFC games. I get your point of like, all right, at what point do you? To me, it's like, yeah, if you were at these events,
look, am I gonna fight? Am I gonna fight somebody who was at Charlottesville? Like, am I gonna fight this person? Like,
no.
I'm not that person. I'm not that dude, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the more democratic route and be like, yo, I want to see if can we do something about this guy?
call security. You know?
I'm just not that dude. It's just that's my main concern about these accusations of like who's associating with who. Like, not everybody. Clearly, everybody does not agree with the ideals or whatever, but there is what should be done is put that message out. Like, none of this is welcome. Do what you can to in a non-violent way to eliminate these people from games.
And I think one of the ways you do it as a fan, if you don't want to get physically involved, which I would hope no one does, because that just doesn't solve anything. The way you do it is to display your approval of everyone who comes to the game. That is loving. And
I'm kissing all the dudes out there.
We go straight tongue, my guy. Also, you know what's going to happen? We're doing it in the stands. Tata Martino's going to wash us in the stands. So you want to see what we about?
Get ready.
You want to see what we about?
We spreading that love, right?
Literally, spread eagle that love. Yeah, we're going to bust it wide open.
Because you a fellow supporter and we love you.
And remember, don't you be disrespectful. Get involved. You want to show you really love people? Get involved.
All right. If you ain't kissing dudes, I think you might be a Nazi.
Yeah, then you a Nazi. And then you can't be a part of this new fan base that NYCFC has acquired.
All right, tonguing down SC. All right.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean we're sold out of season tickets?
All right. So hopefully we solved.
I think we solved everything.
All that out. All right. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna talk about some of the games that happened over the weekend because it is pre-decision day. But there's
wait, hold on, real quick before I go. I just want to shout out to Ricky Maeda. Who just is expected to plead guilty over in Hawaii. He's the treasurer of a youth soccer league, but he's indicted for stealing $180,000 as he was just signing off checks to himself throughout the years. One of the ones they got, prosecutors also said that Maeda wrote false information in the memo sections of the checks to make it appear as though they were reimbursing himself for legitimate expenses. Yeah, that's what you do. You're not going to put stealing money in the memo, okay? And this is from 2014, and my man wrote himself a $2,623 reimbursement for pins and coins. All right, which come on, son, pins and coins.
I mean,
dude wasn't even trying to hide it.
If they were commemorative, well, maybe they could have been pretty expensive.
Yo, actually, money is coins. He's got the money in his bank account. He did get coins with that. I mean, look, $180,000 over a couple years. I mean, that's Gulliest treasurer of the week right there.
Especially after the conversation we just had, I don't know why you would even support this kind of behavior.
I just think it's Matt Gully. Oh, he just wrote himself check.
You complain about U.S. soccer and all the issues, and you're just like, oh, this guy stole a bunch of money. This guy's awesome.
It's hilarious. Pins and coins? You knew you were getting caught, you dumbass.
If you're a part of U.S. soccer, especially at the youth level, don't steal money, man. It's
Please
hard
don't.
enough. We can't We can't even make it to the World Cup. Like, you're taking money out of future Pulisic.
And if you are, at least go out like Blazer did, snitch on everybody else who did it so we could get him out of the game.
You're an idiot.
Ricky Maeda, you're the gulliest soccer treasure of the week. The guy's going to plead guilty. Of course he did. Pins and coins, you dumbass. New turf, jerseys. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Also, $2,600. What weird gambling debt did you have? What weak ass gambling? This credit card debt is all you try to pay off.
And they say there's no money in soccer.
Right? There's at least $180,000. I want to know who gets that money now that he pleads guilty.
Oh.
They should sell this dude's house and give that money to the kids directly, not to the youth of the league.
You want kids to have $180,000?
Kids are just gonna get a check for $1,200.
I don't think kids will spend it any more intelligently either.
They're like, yo, I just want a bunch of pins and coins. And he's like, get me out of jail. Get me out of jail. Went full circle. Turns out I was right.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll be right back after this.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to the Cooligans. Just want to break in with a word from our sponsor, us.
That's right.
Yeah, Gully Squad, baby. I want to thank all of you who've already signed up. It's been absolutely amazing. We're getting up there, man. We're getting so close to that second episode.
That's right. So we're very, very close. I think we're much closer than anyone may think.
Yeah, we're very, very close.
So
you yourself could make that difference.
Exactly. So go to soccercooligans.com and sign up for Gully Squad. There's a bunch of cool rewards and features, and more than anything, the reward is how great you're going to just feel about yourself.
That's part of it. And also, you're just going to get all this extra content.
That's right.
You're going to release all this. You're going to open a Pandora's box of content, all because you joined Gully Squad. We got a bunch of different levels. You can actually pick what happens on the show. You can mention topics that we'll cover. We mentioned already, but somebody asked us to talk more about women's soccer, and we've been doing that.
We did. We also got another question, and I want to bring it up now. It says, we got a message from Vivian Chase, and she wanted us to talk about a particular thing. She goes, I want to ask you guys a couple questions, including something to discuss on the podcast. I'm a big Philadelphia Union supporter. Sorry about the loss. That they just lost to the Rebels the other day.
You're playing better.
And she said, I'm a big Philadelphia Union supporter and fairly new to MLS. The Cooligans was a huge entry point to learn more about the league and the culture around this. So thanks for that. Shout out. And she goes, I'm wondering if at some point you could talk about MLS's relationship with the loan system. Obviously, Doshkow, heard of him now. I don't know what she's referring to exactly, but has been a huge part of Philly's success this year. But given his recent international form and no option to buy, seems pretty unlikely he's going to be back. Seems like a bad deal for a league where we basically had to pay top dollar for a 1-year DP holdover that will have trouble matching with similar investment in the market. And she also says, also come down to Philly and do a show. It's only like $30 train ride, and it's way gullier here than New York.
That's very true. Now it is. Although don't forget about the Bronx. And also, we'll do some more research on the loan structure, and we'll get back to you with that.
I mean, what do you think about that? Very quickly, it's not about because this guy had an issue with that with the Chicago Fire.
Yeah, I think anytime that you could get a player for cheap that's going to help your team, even if it's for 1 year, you do it. It's frustrating for the fans, but MLS is all about turnover.
Yeah,
so.
and this isn't specifically an MLS issue. This could happen anywhere. It's just I think players, and this is very specific to the player. So he probably signed the deal being like, well, let's see how this goes. Because if I signed a 5-year deal and the team is trash, then I'm stuck here.
I'm sure if he wants to leave to come back to MLS, he can make that clear.
Yeah.
He can put in a transfer request, and then they'll have to pay like real money for him, as opposed to whatever small amount they paid for the loan.
Exactly.
So look at this, the longest commercial we've ever done.
Yes, Katai had this same issue where he was on loan and they didn't know what it was from Chicago Fire. They didn't know if he was gonna have an option to buy or whatever.
Well, Christian, this is a commercial and not the second episode.
No, but they sorted it out. I'm just saying this is important to talk about because
it is.
These are the kind of things that we'll talk about for Gully Squad. So if you join up,
we'll do research beforehand.
So make sure you join. Again, you can play us in FIFA. You can get gulliest tee, but you'll be helping the show. And those second episodes are coming real soon.
And you'll get tickets for events. We do like the one we're gonna do in Philly because it's Gully and we gotta be there.
Gully is hell of it.
That and more. If you join the Gully Squad, please do that. Thank you so much. Now back to our show. Yeah, baby, we're back.
Yo, all right. So a lot of MLS happened. A lot of US. What was it? US played Peru last week.
Peru, yeah.
And that was a fun game.
It was a fun game.
We almost won it.
Yeah, it was a cool goal that Josh Sargent scored. A little training ground trick.
Little deflection.
The deflection was hugely helpful. But, look, the team didn't look incredible, but they looked like they were having fun. And they looked like they were in the game.
Sure.
What more do you want?
And then there was a mistake from
Yedlin.
Yedlin
just fell
somebody
asleep.
not it was on Marky Delgado and Yedlin. They're both like.
But
not
Yedlin,
really-
if he was tracking the runner, would have went back. He sort of looked over and realized the runner had already taken off.
Yeah.
If he was one step faster there, or had been watching the player since before, that
it was
would not have been
frustrating
a goal.
because our new friend Reggie Cannon,
Cannon,
was
the
the one
homie,
subbed off
Yeah.
for Yedlin, and then
he was upset about it.
was
Well, you'll listen to the interview.
so but it was at least they didn't get washed.
No, they did not.
They did not.
Those unlucky bastards.
They did some washing, very little washing.
Yeah, very little.
But
Some dry shampoo.
exactly. But I was especially seeing Sargent score and like they played with a little bit of confidence. First half was bad. Not much going on. Not much possession. That's my kind of main concern with the men's national team right now. Where I'm like, why can't we hold the ball at all?
Yeah,
and
no.
look, I know Pulisic wasn't there.
And we also don't have a coach yet. Right now it's just Saracen.
Dave Saracen is the only coach in my heart.
Well, no, because Oscar Pereira is not taking over. But yeah, I mean, look, the game happened like a week and a half ago at this point. So
yeah, I'm just saying it happened. We have to at least, we've been talking a lot about U.S. soccer. So in MLS, that's where all the action was, right?
that's where the action was.
So let's go through some of these games. DC United played against NYCFC.
All right, we don't have to talk about this, right?
We have to talk about everything. We have to
DC United going from being half the season in last place to being in the playoffs.
And Rooney shows up being like, I'm a handle this.
And how wrong was I about that being a bad move, huh?
Yeah.
Whoa, boy.
I think what did we guess? I remember talking.
I think I said they would make the playoffs like 2 weeks ago, but
oh wow, what
I
a
know,
bold
really went
thing.
out on a limb there.
No, but I think when Rooney, right before Rooney played his first game, we said like, oh, he might have. He might get. I think I said he might not get to double-digit goals, but maybe double-digit assists. I don't remember what I said exactly. But he is. I think he might be. I think he's at 12 goals and 9 assists or something like that in just like 19 games or something like that. It's just. I mean, look, that's it. It worked out. Everybody, all the people who were against Rooney and all this noise.
I did not think he
It's
could
worked
handle
even
the heat.
better than anyone could have thought. But DC United plays against NYCFC. They win 3-1. They compared to the game against NYCFC in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, he does have 12 goals.
They look like a very different team. The surprise here, and the reason we need to talk about this game, what I wanted to mention it was because apparently I've been hearing out on I've been seeing some tweets about how Total Soccer Show. You heard of those dudes, right?
I think so.
Vaguely.
Sounds familiar.
Sound familiar, but I don't even know. Whatever.
I think one of them has a weird accent.
I think so too. Yes. Apparently they've been boasting a little bit about DC United's win over NYCFC. They've been
have they?
bragging a little bit? You know,
We were supposed to be at this game with them, but instead we were in Dallas.
That's right. Yeah.
Just watching another loss.
But
I'm very glad we didn't drive 6 hours to watch the team do badly.
oh sure. But look. I mean, I don't know. Like they're a little cocky right now.
Oh, of course they're feeling great
Okay, and this
for no reason.
And feeling good is not something Daryl Grove is used to. You know,
He's not allowed to. He's English.
He's English. You know,
At the moment he starts to feel good, he knows it's all going to collapse.
So but they did win this game 3-1, and this was I think that the couple things that stood out was obviously Wayne Rooney. He played great.
Also, Lucha Acosta just seems
Acosta.
like he keeps getting better.
What is it? Who is it? It's just
He carved up the entire back line.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say Lucho Acosta might be the Argentinian Messi.
Never heard that one before, folks.
Not once.
That's never been said before right there. Yeah, Lucha Acosta. I mean, God, he's unstoppable. if you're wearing an NYCFC jersey.
No, he's made a lot of people look bad this year, and I think it's
And all of them are on the back line for NYCFC in one play, just carved everybody up.
yeah. You know what? I don't think we've seen anything like that this season of NYCFC getting carved up like that.
Oh, I thought
reminds-
you said we haven't seen it at all, and I'm like, well, no, we've all watched Orlando City games.
no. With NYCFC doesn't tend to get like body like that.
No. Well, yeah, in the Dome era.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's been happening
I
a little
put
bit
this
more.
on Twitter. Vieira couldn't win a derby, wins every other game.
Yes.
Dome doesn't lose a derby, loses every other game. What is happening?
Who was was it Matthew Doyle? I forgot who I was watching. They were just talking about what was going on with NYCFC, and they've had a terrible run of form. Nobody's super optimistic about these playoffs, but who knows? Something might turn around. But there were issues with like some injuries, and Yanga Herrera came back and stuff like that, so that was cool. But one argument that I was surprised to hear, and I think it was Matt Doyle. I apologize if it wasn't, but I think he said that the NYCFC, they changed the system midseason. Dome brought in new players that weren't as good as the players that they currently had, which is that I had not heard that before.
I think it's true.
Make that.
He's
So
probably talking about Castellanos.
Tati Castellanos, Elo Amagat, which I would not argue with. He has not. Max Morales, I think, was injured, so he didn't play the game against DC United. But replacing him is Elo Amagat, and Amagat is just. I don't know. I don't even know what to say, right? He got a red card his first game. Does not look like. It's so weird to you have this a La Liga veteran coming down and
a legend in his club.
Sure, but the
beloved at Girona.
But this is sort of the. It speaks to the people and responds to the people that are like, yo, MLS is trash. Anybody can go here and just wax everybody.
Which is happening because of Wayne Rooney playing so well and Zlatan.
Yes.
Oh, all you need is to walk in there. Like these guys aren't legends in the
legends
game.
of the game will have an easier time out here.
Because they had an easier time at United.
Exactly. Right? They were clear. They were good there. They're probably going to be good here. If you're a player who plays pretty much anywhere else in the world and you're okay, you're going to be okay here, or maybe you're not even gonna be able to keep up because Amagat is that example where I'm like, yo, dude looks like he ain't fit to be playing with these MLS dudes.
Yeah,
and it's like, so you can call MLS trash all you want, but there's people who come here and have a tough time.
Yeah. A very tough time. And they look like they're not playing the same game as everyone else on the pitch. And that's exactly what's happening with Amagat. And Castellanos has these moments of real brilliance, but it's like, are you here just showing off or are you part of this team?
Yeah.
I think Jonathan Lewis is a better option in that same exact position.
Yeah, I would say so.
And he's been called back from loan. Give the kid minutes. What did he do?
Somebody tell us what he did.
We'll accept it if you tell us.
Because it just doesn't seem to make much
sense. What if he washes us? You know what I
mean? But no, this puts NYCFC in a weird position, right? Because losing to DC United might have actually been better for NYCFC, arguably, right? Because it put DC United into 5th place, so they won't have to play them in the knockout game.
Right.
They'll probably have to play Columbus at home. So who would you want to play?
Columbus hasn't scored much this season.
Yeah, earlier I was suggesting that because of how they played DC United in the first game at Yankee Stadium, I'm like, oh, play them again at Yankee Stadium. They'll probably win. But I'm thinking with the heat that Rooney's bringing, Lucho.
Although they are a different team on the tiny pitch, on the tiny field.
They're a different team on the road. I believe Wayne Rooney has not won a game on the road. DC United has not won a game with Wayne Rooney on the road.
Yeah,
but they've also they've only had 4 games on the road since he's been.
Columbus didn't have a home until 3 weeks ago, so technically everything's been on the road for them. So
the argument, I think NYCFC might have more luck with playing against Columbus.
Come on, Minnesota. I mean, come on, Montreal.
So
come on.
So it's if who ends up the team who ends up playing Atlanta or it's probably if NYCFC wins, they probably will end up playing Atlanta they might end up playing Atlanta in the playoffs. No, right? It's first place the lower seed. So we'll see. I don't know. I think could we have a derby in the first playoff game? In the first the 2-leg game?
They would hope so.
Because it gets reseeded, I know that, but they're the higher seed.
So you're assuming Philly and DC win and NYCFC loses, right? On goal differential, they stay up.
I'm assuming NYCFC and So Atlanta would play DC.
Atlanta and Rebels get a bye.
Yes, correct. I'm saying
so. NYCFC.
This is presuming that NYCFC and DC United win. So they would play. Philly would play DC United, and NYCFC would play Columbus. So now the two people who move forward would be NYCFC and DC United. So if those two, then Atlanta plays DC because they play the lower seed.
NYCFC plays Red Bulls.
So we would have a Hudson River Derby in that,
which is Dome's game.
So that, I mean, it would just be intense. It would be great. In the playoffs, it would be the first time NYCFC and the Rebels play in the playoffs.
Wow.
So that's looking like it's a possibility. Because I think the team who plays NYCFC at home is, there's no way you can favor them. NYCFC has been insanely dominant at home. They've only lost one game.
Please, God.
It would be, dude, I'm just saying, for the theater, it would be quite exciting.
Bro, you want ratings. Hire extra cops because, you know what I mean? These two fan bases don't get along. And also, I don't know, hire some folks to get rid of the Nazis. You know what I mean?
Sure. Can you handle that first?
Yeah, take care of that before the game.
So, but the game set was pretty good. One weird point in this game was the penalty call. There was the handball on Alex Ring. The ball hit his hand. It's understandable. But it was a funny thing that a lot of times what usually happens when somebody, a player, when the ball hits their hand, they try to not make it look like it did, and they do whatever they can.
Not him. He played injured.
He's like, it hit my hand, ref.
Guys,
Ref, it hit my hand.
I did this thing where I put my hand out and the ball hit it, and now it
hurts. Okay? Because somebody...
I think I broke my leg robbing this bank. What should I do?
Give it to yourself.
Can you call an ambulance? No, not the police. An ambulance?
This is not a thing you usually...
Keep it together, buddy. Keep it together.
Now's not the time. But again, like I said, it seems like this loss might have actually been better for NYCFC.
But wait, doesn't that mean now that if NYCFC loses...
if they lose, it's not good because then they don't host the game.
But if NYCFC win, then Red Bulls wins the Supporter Shield.
If NYCFC wins... if Atlanta wins their next game, they win the Supporter Shield. If Atlanta loses
and NYCFC wins.
No, this has the Supporter Shield. NYCFC has no influence on the Supporter Shield at all.
I think you're wrong. Who does NYCFC play next?
Philly.
Yeah, you're probably right.
What are you talking about? They Red Bulls and Atlanta have their own thing. NYCFC was like, hey guys, you know what, guys? You guys take that support. I have no.
You know what? You guys worry about it. We're gonna lose a couple just to see what the fan base does.
So okay. So let's talk about another game. So we have to Orlando. We look. We haven't. Every time we've talked about you guys, it's been mostly negative. And
and Atlanta's playing Toronto. Oh my God! Just give them the shield now.
So who knows? Anything can happen. Remember last game of the season last year, Javinko banged that free kick towards the end and put Atlanta into the knockout round.
And didn't Orlando win?
Orlando, that's what I'm saying. Orlando just did win.
Anything can happen.
Orlando defeating Columbus. And this is huge because Columbus now has to win their next game or they're out of the playoffs if Montreal wins.
Montreal has to win.
But Columbus has to...
Montreal on 46 points.
Yes, and Columbus on 48. So this would be so bittersweet if the Crew are saved and Columbus misses the playoffs. How sad. What a shame that would be.
And we talked about they're playing New England, Montreal.
Yeah. So they could win that game.
Essentially could.
They could win the game. Who does Columbus play?
I'm figuring out that right now.
Columbus loses, but Columbus
plays Minnesota. Oh man.
But look,
I'm a little bit more worried about Minnesota than I would be New England because they have pieces. I don't think Heath is the right coach because he can't make them put together. But he can't put them together. But like I can't do with words. But I think Minnesota has, Quintero could go off.
Yeah, anything can happen. So, but Columbus should have clinched a playoff spot
already
this weekend with a win over the
second worst team in the league.
73 allowed goals Orlando City, where It's a goal for Orlando is like at this point, like when you're
It's
in
like a lacrosse team winning the Super Bowl.
so, but dude, it's like it is a mirage. Like you're in the desert and you think you see water. Like
That ain't real.
Orlando's like, is that what I think it is?
Oh dear God.
But 2 penalties, right? 2 penalties. They scored 2 goals. Sasha Kleshin bangs in a penalty, first time in, I think, a decade. Scores and but they win this game 2-1. A gorgeous goal from Pipa Higuain, and just a great free kick. But Columbus, how do you lose this game? You don't lose this one. This is the one. This is the gimme.
No one thought you were going to lose this game, including Orlando.
Yeah, and then it's weird.
James O'Connor was like pacing the sidelines,
it
like,
seems
that's
like-
right, son.
It seems like wherever Justin Miram goes, that team loses.
Oh, he wasn't allowed to play.
He didn't play?
No, it was part of the deal. You didn't know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's part of the deal. He's like, yeah, you guys, Orlando
okay.
was like, you could go back home, but you can't play in the game.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very common with loan deals.
Yeah.
In the rest of soccer. Yeah, in the rest of the world soccer. Okay.
But that explains it, right? I mean, they were without like really their pendulum, if
A
you
little
will.
bit. Yeah. But disappointing.
It's still against Orlando. I mean, you don't need your full squad to beat Orlando.
I don't even think they feel the full squad.
Yeah, Orlando's like, let's just give some of the front office people a chance.
Yoshimel Yotun gets he did a Panenka, which is
By
cool.
the way, say that one more time.
A Panenka.
No, the before. the name.
Yoshimel Yotun.
That's beautiful. Yoshimel Yotun, who scored for Peru, right?
In the friendlies, I think he did score one, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. I don't know, not the game.
Not against. No, I think. Oh, he hit the crossbar. That's what he did
That's what it
against
is.
US.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's so crazy.
Monster
Watching
bad.
Peru, and there's a couple guys that play all over the world.
Right.
I'm like, yo, Peru's nice.
Yeah, they got skill.
They got some ballers.
They just can't put it all together. But
Yeah.
they got
You know,
pieces.
props to Alex Collins playing on the Peruvian team. I know there was an injury and he filled in, but he looked good too.
He looked great, yeah.
It's he's one of these guys at NYCFC that definitely gets like overlooked a little bit because you're just so used to him being that consistent. But having a center back that consistent is very rare, especially in this league, man. He's been really good. I know he played every minute of the season last season. He played every single minute. I mean,
Jeez.
Iron Man. Dude, it's crazy.
He also threw an elbow at the wrong time.
Hey, I mean, speaking of Columbus, speaking of Meram,
Yeah.
Meram foils us again.
Yeah, damn you, Maram.
Real quick, Dallas did play against Sporting Kansas City. I was there. They won 3-0.
And which is why they lost.
That's why
'cause
they
you were
lost.
there.
I was there. I distracted everyone. You know, the weird thing about when you get press credentials, it is like it's a privilege and it's really cool. One thing is it's very important to not. As when you're on the field to not like you're not supposed to distract any of the players and not supposed to say anything and
Yeah, you're like they sometimes they cordon you off to certain sections or they
Yeah.
have like you're supposed to stay behind the ad signs.
Yeah.
There's definitive rules in most stadiums. They're all
Exactly.
different.
but I jumped on the field and I was like, yo, I need to take a photo of you, Tesho.
Yeah. Yo, Tesho, remember us?
No, but that was the weird thing is that we just did the interview with a lot of the players and I was walking by and Tesho did see me and was like, hey, what's up? But
During the game?
During the game. But the weird thing was like, it wasn't like they were already like losing, I think 2-0. So it was
You're
like,
gonna get this guy in trouble.
no, I don't. I mean, obviously he can look at people, right? It's not a
Yeah.
big deal. He just looked at me and just gave me like a head nod, like, oh, I see you, dog.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
mad right now,
Yeah.
but I see you.
Oh, okay,
But it
what's
really,
up?
I felt uncomfortable just even being near there because he was like warming up and stuff, and he just gave me a nod, but like, dude, I mean, a serious nod. I mean, it was like. I felt that competitive fire and how angry he was that the team was down and how
It was like, what's up? I know what's happening. I'm gonna try my hardest to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one of those.
Yeah, it was just like somebody that is in the zone and you can't get them out of it.
Yeah.
And I left. I like walked away. I was just like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
You gotta
like,
splash him with cold water in his face to like get him
it
out.
was just one of those things where somebody is just like straight up like gully as hell and looks and stares somebody down
Focused.
and it's like who's gonna play chicken, right?
Yeah.
And I ran away. I was
Yeah.
like, I do not
You're
have
like,
this. I do not have this competitive fire that Tesho Akindele has because wow.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you see it on TV or whatever, but when it's directed like at you,
Yeah, when
you're-
it's in your face.
you're like, oh my god.
Next thing you know, Christian's in the wall for the free kick. Like, I don't know. I'm trying not to let him down. I bought this full kit in the club room real quick.
I very much was like buckled. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, like it's just like again, it's one of those when people knock this league and the passion behind it, and,
It's ridiculous.
But when you see the players, and I'm like, yo, I felt it in my core.
Yeah.
how serious he
Yeah.
was about being a professional footballer.
I could feel it in my popete.
Popete is something else. It's popote.
Popote. Popote. I forgot. We're Mexican now. We have to remember this in my sorbeto.
All right, Way. So let's talk about LA against Minnesota. Actually, you know, last thing about Sporting Kansas City and Dallas. I got to say hello to Matt Beasler after the game. I was like, hey, Matt, I'm Christian. I was one of the Cooligans to interview you. And he was like, oh, hey, man, how's it going? Thanks for being here. He was just like the most delightful guy.
Was he? I saw the picture with the thumbs up.
Yeah, he took that. Elvis took that photo. He was,
that's dope.
He just like, oh, bro, you want a photo? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Just a super chill dude. Just like, you know, he was on the show and it was great.
Just a bro who plays
Great.
soccer.
He was much happier because they won 3-0.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So LA against Minnesota. So LA wins this game 3-1. But really, the highlight of this game is not Zlatan Ibrahimovic scoring or getting that baller ass assist to Romain Alessandrini.
That was dope.
One of the greatest passes I've seen this season.
The goal itself that he scored, the header was nothing.
Alessandrini.
The pass to Alessandrini was wildfire.
Amazing, right? He's just like, he's getting one defender on him. Zlatan, a peek. He just takes a little peek. He's like, bro,
Peripheral.
I know where this French dude is at.
Yeah, and I know what he's going to do. I know where he's going.
I'm going to put it perfectly on his left
I'm
foot.
going to cut him off at the pass.
So it was beautiful. But the most exciting thing of this match is not the game itself, but before the game.
Troll game heavy.
All right, because we know
roast game heavy.
We talked about it last week or two weeks ago.
Hell
I think
yeah.
About Zlatan being how he puts on.
He said 55,000 people are going.
Yes.
And they're there to see me, not Minnesota.
It's common, right? He does. This is what he does.
This is what he does. And then Minnesota was like, how about we set our ovens to broil, son? Because we gonna roast you.
Like, obviously, it didn't work out in the end. But
in the beginning,
the beginning, it worked out quite well.
In the funny game, they won. 3 points in the roast game.
You win. The Cooligans award you 3 points. Okay?
In the Cooligans table, you at the top right now.
Okay. So if you didn't see this, Minnesota United, in the player introductions for the away team, which was the Los Angeles Galaxy, they are showing all the players and their names. They're announcing the announcer.
They have like the photo with like a little data next to them.
Yes.
It's like a little headshot.
And they're showing all the players. Sebastian Lletget, hopefully shirtless, you know.
Yeah.
But
Please, God.
But then they go to get to Zlatan's player image and all the information, and it's just an icon that says "image not found."
Yeah, image not found. So dope.
This is right on the big board.
On the big screen.
It's just so great.
Which I think that was technically their last game at that stadium,
At
right?
that stadium, yeah, at the college. I forgot what school they played at college.
Minnesota University, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Allianz Field looks
insane.
looking quite nice right now.
And the outside changes colors and stuff. Somebody said this. I don't know who said it. It's the first time they've seen like the actual stadium be so close to the renderings and just as beautiful.
Okay.
And I gotta agree. I don't know who said that. It might have been Matt Dua. Absolutely beautiful, just a stunning stadium.
But yes, that was just so awesome, so funny, and again. Sometimes some like soccer purists might be like, oh, this is not whatever. But like to those people, we say, get out of my face. All right.
Why are you even talking?
Because we're trying to have a good time over here.
We're trying to have fun. I don't understand why people take this so seriously. Will Ferrell is out there.
Will Ferrell, yeah. He was, I love skateboard F.
Yeah. Will Ferrell was out there leading the jump ole 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 chant.
Yes.
I mean, stop taking things so seriously. Have a good time.
Exactly.
People.
And what's dumb is that this sort of stuff happens all over the world, but MLS is like the whipping boy, where we get
Get credit for being like a puppy, like a Disney league.
They ain't crazy out there in Argentina.
Yeah.
With the giant ass tifos, crazy ass people.
A lot of banners.
But it's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. So we try to have a little fun.
By the way, shouts to all the fans. We're not trying to upset any of you guys because we know you're all murderers. But
Every single one got a body on.
yeah. You're all gully as hell. A little too gully for us. We're just saying, there's a damn seagull walking around in England. All right. Not everything has got to be as simple. Crystal Palace got cheerleaders. Let's relax.
Yeah. I didn't know they had cheerleaders.
Yeah, the Crystals.
Okay.
Everybody relax. Let us have a little bit of fun.
So, but that was pretty awesome. But what this game does, this win for LA Galaxy and RSL losing. We were talking about this. We were just saying, like,
We were just saying.
we just said, like, RSL. If you get to the playoffs, you gotta earn it, man.
All you had to do was win.
All you gotta do was win. We were rooting for LA Galaxy because it would be entertaining, right? But
Rudy's in. Zlatan looks like he's in.
so RSL in their last game of the season, they lose to
How?
Portland at home after crushing New England at home, and really didn't. It's a shame. So now this opens the door for
They're a point away. 49 for RSL, 48 for LA Galaxy.
LA Galaxy wins this game and they're in.
That's it.
And that's it. And they're
As long as RSL,
no, that's it. RSL doesn't have a game. They have a bye.
that's it. They're 34.
They're done. They're done. LA just has to win.
So now they're just sitting there waiting, see what happens.
They just hoping. It's like this is like the.
Even a draw. A draw puts them in because they're higher on goal differential.
I think wins is the first tiebreaker.
Wins.
So
Wins.
they don't have.
No, they would be tied on wins.
Then goal differential would be the next tiebreaker. I think.
Unless you can't lose by 3 and draw. So, yeah, I try to do the math there real quick in my head.
So LA. Win and you're in. I mean, this is crazy that this is the scenario that they're in. Because
How are we here, RSL? Petke can't be cool with this at all.
Yes, this Petke interview is going to be quite lit, right?
Oh, my God.
But this feels a little bit like
They're home to Houston Dynamo, LA Galaxy.
yeah, Houston have nothing to play for, so we'll see. But
They've already won, Houston.
the interesting thing where I forgot the point I was going to make because you started talking. Anyway,
well, welcome to the Cooligans.
so the fact that they have that it's within their power to do this is quite a surprise, given how bad of a season. And it looks like the biggest difference is for LA sitting Michael Ciani because he was the problem, and then Felcher coming back. He was injured.
Felcher looked pretty good.
I think he got the assist. He got the assist.
He
to
got the
Zlatan.
assist on the Zlatan header, which Zlatan didn't even have to leave his feet for.
Just mark him, man. Mark him. You see the dude that's talking all that smack? Maybe somebody should be like, hey, is that the dude that was talking smack? All right, stay with.
It's like, how do you not know who he is? He's 6'5" and got a ponytail. The guy looks like an extra from any Taken movie. Cover him.
Make sure you mark that dude. So just exciting. Look, this last decision day is going to be pretty awesome for MLS, and that's the point I was trying to make. The
supporter shield and playoffs get decided.
This decision day feels similar, not exactly, but like when the Premier League champion
City won in the last second.
No, not the opposite. Where like Leicester City was like waiting at home to see the result of another game.
Okay, yeah.
To see if they
and they all partied at Vardy's house. Vardy party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Vardy's going to be having a party at his
He's
place
drunk right now
for LA Galaxy making it into the playoffs.
I've never seen. I would love to see a video of just Vardy and Conor McGregor meeting. That would be fun. Just the two of them having a meeting. I just feel like that would just deteriorate pretty quickly.
Really? I don't know. Would it be like a thing like you wouldn't understand either of them?
Probably not, because they'd be so drunk right away.
So yeah. So decision day is gonna be lit. I'm excited about this weekend. Now there's going to be a bunch of really, really important games, and every decision day has ever since we've been doing this. I mean, like this seems because of the what's at stake for like the big name players, and some people have the feeling like, oh, MLS kind of wants that narrative. They want Zlatan in there and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not on their own doing though. They're not putting downers in RSL's water.
Sure. Yes. Cosby's not involved in MLS in any way.
Yeah,
so
he's
just to be clear.
The head of beverage.
Well, how did Bill Cosby become the head of concessions?
Yeah,
this has been a bad day.
Wild. Jello pudding everywhere.
We made a mistake. But I am excited about it. So that's it, everybody. Another
great episode in the bank.
In the banks, in the books. Alexis doesn't read books. And doesn't visit the bank very often.
Probably shouldn't be going to the bank either. You guys still don't need me? All right, cool. All right.
So, again, make sure and sign up for the Gully Squad. Thank you to all the people who I've already have. Get your questions into us, please. Anything you want us to talk about, any questions you have. Thank you, Vivian, for the question that you asked.
Yeah, somebody suggested that we make a Facebook group for some of the Gully Squad.
we got to figure
communicate with each other. We got to figure something out for that.
Yeah, that'd be a good like community page for everybody to talk to each other.
Or maybe we'll create like a Google form that goes out to just the people in Gully Squad that they can.
I don't know. I think a Facebook group
us.
makes more sense.
All right, we'll figure it out. We don't need to have this meeting here
let's sort this
on
out.
the air. But thank you so much for listening. Join Gully Squad. It would mean a lot to us. 5-star review. Leave something cool, just like what Gavin did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and leave and just so you know, the FC Dallas stuff that we filmed and recorded is coming out very, very soon. Make sure if you don't subscribe to this podcast, make sure you do that. Let your friends know. If you have friends that are FC Dallas fans, I'm telling you, we had some of the most hilarious interviews with these soccer players.
It was amazing.
You will never hear like similar anywhere else, man. It was so awesome and unique and special and made it worthwhile that Tesho Akindele made me pee my pants.
Yeah.
So thank you for everything, man. We've been having a good time doing this, and we're just gonna keep this going. And the MLS playoffs are gonna be dope. We're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, and keep listening, because if you're a fan of Dallas, or you're not sure if you want to be an FC Dallas fan, if you live in Dallas or in the Frisco area, when you listen to us talk to these folks, I think you're gonna want to be a fan of the team. They're really, really cool people.
Exactly. All right, everybody. So my name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerrero.
And together, what are we? The Cooligans!